Why do we have devotions? As a teacher, I feel every day I'm giving devotions. I arrive hoping that some nugget of information I provide, some new skill that is shown, a new idea, a word of encouragement, a unique thought or an example or conversation can help someone avoid many of the same mistakes most teenagers make. All of my teacher colleagues work hard to help you become more creative, learn how not only to answer a challenging question, but also how to ask them, to become the person you are meant to be. It's a Sisyphean task, but it's one that any teacher worth their salt is willing to undertake. Teachers and parents alike work against a teenage brain that isn't fully myelinated. Last year, I asked you to consider how many hours of your life you'll spend attached to a screen, as too many people are letting their lives, their loved ones, and the world slip past as your eyes are glued to your screen. I asked you to be a creator and not just a consumer. With that said, I meant get a creative outlet, do something constructive, creative, interesting, or as we used to say, a hobby. Do something for no one else but you. It's unlikely that anyone here knows Rosie Greer, but when I was younger, his creative pursuits caused quite a commotion. He was part of the fearsome foursome, the defensive line of an American football team, the Los Angeles Rams. He was not a man to reckon with. He also had a hobby, needlepoint. Why needlepoint? Because it gave him a break from the anxiety and stress. It was his alone time, his thought time, his quiet time. And as humans, we need that to be mentally healthy. Even during this alone and quiet time, your brain is active. Cooking. Far too often, we speak of creative endeavors. People think it means drawing and painting, but it's far wider than that. Cooking is one of the most popular pastimes, and yes, it's a creative endeavor. You might not even realize you're using math with weights and measurements to make your next grand creation. There are a million ways to paint and draw, but stop trying to make a masterpiece. Think back to when you were younger, and I bet you loved to doodle. Grab a pack of crayons and just have fun. Coloring books are some of the best-selling books right now because it's a great stress reliever. Just draw, scribble, but do it for yourself. A creative pursuit or hobby can be so much more than you imagine. Juggling isn't as complex as you might think. It builds amazing hand and eye coordination, can be done almost anywhere, and tends to amaze people. Or have you considered card tricks? Both don't require anything expensive, some balls or a deck of cards, some eye-hand coordination and some practice. This eye-hand coordination will pay off if you happen to be involved in sports, music, or the visual arts. Or how about something more esoteric? Perhaps you want to spend hours in the meditative practice of setting up dominoes just to knock them down. Or perhaps you want to show a chain reaction. Or you just want an excuse to get a few dozen mousetraps and ping pong balls. Or go and create a Rube Goldberg device to test your limits and understandings of physics. Or just because it's fun, interesting, and pretty darn cool to watch the final work in action. Build yourself a model rocket. Launch it 1,000 feet in the air. The possibilities are endless. It doesn't matter where you get your inspiration. It can be useful or a bit inane, but if it helps you find your balance, it doesn't matter. And you might be surprised because when you get started trying to figure out how to sink a pool ball or a frisbee into a basketball net or a trash can, you might just realize there's more to it. Perhaps you're using geometry, the laws of physics, or if you collect stamps, coins, useless 500 rupee notes or Star Trek figurines, chances are you'll find yourself cataloging, doing research, comparing and contrasting, and delving deeper into things than you ever imagined. In short, it's a brain exercise, and you don't even know it. One final word. Of all the hobbies, fire breathing, no matter how amazing it looks, no matter how intrigued you are, no matter how much you long to do it, it has no place being practiced at dorm or school level. Studies show that people with creative interests outside their jobs, outside of their studies, are happier, healthier, and overall feel more successful and satisfied in their lives. That is ultimately a rich life, to feel happy. So embrace the chance to be creative without other concerns other than to enjoy yourself.